Without much fanfare, Omega has quietly dropped 2 new additions to the Aqua Terra lineup. We've got a bold new dial and a polarizing ceramic bezel to unpack. My name's Will, and this is the Complicated Caliber. Now, as this is my second video ever and the first time I'm gracing the world with a watch review, I may as well set up a bit of a template that I can use moving forward for these watch releases. It'll give me a bit of direction, and who knows, it may help to compare different models down the line. Probably not, but that's okay too. Now, we're not reinventing the wheel here, so I figured I would take a look at all of the standard stuff: case, bracelet, dial, and then a little bit of a deep dive on the movement. As everyone knows, this is the real meat and potato of watches. And we'll end out on a simple rating out of 10, and I'll throw this into a visual tier list for you guys that don't deal with maths too well. Now, Omega is offering both these new models in their standard Aqua Terra sizing, 38mm and 41mm in diameter. And when looking at the stuff that matters, the movement, it's important to know which size variant we are talking about, as they use different Omega calibers. The 41mm runs the caliber 8900, and the 38mm uses the slimmer caliber 8800. Both of these are master chronometers, meaning they've not only cleared COSC certification, but also METIS testing. And if you're unsure of what this means, COSC just looks at the accuracy in a bare movement. METIS goes a little bit further, fully cased up watch with exposure to magnetic fields of up to 15,000 Gauss, water resistance tests, and daily accuracy tests in multiple positions. TLDR, Omega guarantees between 0 and +5 seconds per day, a significant improvement, almost 55% over the standard COSC accuracy of -4 to +6 seconds per day. Now, both of these calibers use Omega's patented coaxial escapement, an upgrade over the traditional Swiss lever, which results in less friction and, in theory, means a more accurate watch that incurs less wear and tear and requires less servicing. The 8900 has a twin barrel setup mounted in series, providing you 60 hours of power reserve and a smoother torque delivery as the mainsprings unwind. The 8800 makes do with a single barrel, but that still pushes 55 hours, which is respectable for its slimmer profile. Both feature free-spun balance wheels with silicon hairsprings, further boosting shock and magnetic resistance. And while Omega's movement finishing isn't artisanal in a haute horology sense, it is very solid for the price point. You have arabesque Geneva stripes spiraling across the rotor and plates, red lettering for contrast, and beveled edges where it counts. Compared to, say, Rolex movements, which often hide behind plain finishing, these show their style and give watch nerds something to look at. On a personal note, I have spent a lot of time with the Omega caliber 8800. It's not on a Aqua Terra, but I can vouch that it is incredibly consistent, sitting between +1 and +2 seconds per day. Now, moving on to the case and bracelet. The 38mm variant comes in at 45mm lug to lug and is 12.3mm thick, whilst the larger 41mm variant stretches to 47.5mm lug to lug and is 13.5mm thick. Both watches are nicely proportioned and they fit nicely under most cuffs. They feature the Seamaster signature lyre lug design and are alternatively brushed and polished finishings. The way Omega polishes and chamfers the case gives a more elegant vibe than most sport watches, and this won't look out of place in a suit. The bracelet is classic Aqua Terra 3-link oyster style with polished center links and a slight taper, the one annoyance being the lug widths. The 41mm takes a 20mm wide bracelet, but the 38mm has the dreaded 19mm option, and it's just going to limit your aftermarket strap options. On the plus side, Omega does have a rubber strap variant, so you have a little bit of flexibility out of the box. The crystal on both models is domed sapphire with double-sided AR coating, so will scratch slightly easier than watches with just the single side. However, it does make the dial colors pop under the direct light and will generally hold up well to most bumps and scratches. I've never had an issue. And of course, now we can look at some of the new changes on these models, and they're found within the dial and bezel. Both watches feature a new turquoise dial, which comes alive with a fumé gradient, bright at the center, shading to a near black at the edges, which only serves to highlight the Aqua Terra indices. It's a style more often seen from high-end independents like H. Moser, yet Omega has brought that same richness to a mainstream everyday watch. The result feels spot on, playful, but still refined enough for daily wear. Now the bezel is where these two models separate themselves for the first time. One has a classy and more standard polished steel bezel, and the other features for the first time in the Aqua Terra a ceramic insert. And this isn't something that I'm fundamentally opposed to. I genuinely believe it's probably a superior material and offering insane scratch resistance, which realistically is the only characteristic you care about for a bezel. However, Omega has opted for a matte finish, and from what I've seen, this bezel doesn't read as particularly luxurious. In fact, it reminds me a little bit more of plastic, affordable fashion watches. Personally, I think a glossy ceramic would have nailed things, but maybe it would have ended up looking too much like the Seamaster 300M line. And to sum things up nicely and without controversy, let's take a look at how these two watch releases fare. I'm rather fond of the steel bezel variant in either 38 or 41 mils. I feel like the turquoise style is unique and it is a great addition to the Aqua Terra lineup. A solid choice for those looking to start or expand their watch collection. A strong 7 out of 10. The ceramic bezel unfortunately did not strike an accord with me, and I felt like it clashes with the rest of the Aqua Terra's identity. This is obviously a subjective take, and I advise everyone to come to their own conclusion. However, for me, it's a 4 out of 10. And of course, for those of you who need a visual representation, maths isn't your strong point, here's how they're going to fit in terms of the tier list. That's it from me. I hope you enjoyed. If you watched till the end, you're a fucking legend. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe to see what I come up with next.